rAVe Radio. With rants and rAVes, you'll be okay. And today is your lucky day. It is Rants and rAVes with Gary Kayye.
Good morning, everyone. This is Gary Kayye, and thank you for joining me for a special video edition of my Rants and rAVes. And this one is special because we're actually going to kind of do a demo of a brand new product. I am joined with Vegard Hammer, who is the CTO, Chief Technology Officer at Huddly. Vegard, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Gary. Thanks for having me.
I'm doing great. You're in one of the most beautiful countries in the world. First time I ever went to Norway, the client took me to the Holmenkollen. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I was
that's right.
looking down that big jump. Yeah, and I was looking down that jump thinking, how do you practice that? Because how do you decide, okay, today's the day I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom? And then he said, well,
you can actually experience it now. They've made a zip line out of it so that you can go zip lining down that big jump now.
I would love to be there. I'm sure it's snowing there right now and beautiful. Just watched the Olympics,
and spring is coming to us, so it's getting warmer.
Well, congratulations on the Olympic team. Y'all did a phenomenal job, as you do most years, winning virtually everything that you participate in, and congratulations there. But we're here to talk about Huddly, and of course, everyone knows Huddly for the IQ camera. The IQ camera was sort of like the flagship original camera. It has a metal housing, very high resolution optics, a 4K. It can be used for both desktop conferencing as well as in-room experiences. In fact, we have one in a small room that we're using. And then one of my favorite products, which I think is sort of unappreciated, is the Canvas product. I think a lot of people don't realize how cool that product is, because if you have a whiteboard in any room, classroom or meeting room, it basically takes that content and turns it into digital content. That's my favorite product that you have. But I mean, you have a new one coming out we're going to talk about in just a second. But what do you think about which one? I know you're on the IQ right now because we were talking before we set up. But
I'm really proud of all the products that we build. I'm proud of the company and the team that's putting a lot of effort into making all these incredible useful tools for being in a collaborative session. And as we were building the IQ, it was kind of obvious to us that, hey, we can use this technology to get closer to the whiteboarding action. And because whiteboard is such a useful tool for teams in these collaborative scenarios. And what we really did there was, what people don't realize is that Huddly is a software company. And we emphasize in building really capable hardware and then shaping the experiences for the meeting rooms using software. And that's precisely what we did with Canvas for whiteboards. We took the IQ, we turned it upside down, and then we designed new software for it that could capture what's going on the whiteboard. And of course, all of our products are certified with Microsoft and Zoom. So just making these tools that people use every day in their meeting rooms available in this hybrid situation where we're at now, where more and more people are joining in from the far end. It's just, it's a privilege to be part of making these tools happen and being able to solve real world problems.
Yeah, and I think what's going to happen is we're going to see a long time before, especially schools where students are going back all the time, and especially in higher education. I think you're going to see it become a standard or a norm that students, it's okay to take class from your dorm, okay to miss class when you're sick. And therefore, and by the way, there's not a single classroom in the world that's in a college university campus that doesn't have a whiteboard. So I think that this is going to be a product that's going to be very big in higher education. Yeah. I think that it's a product that should be like a standard design protocol in higher education. And it does the best job of all of them.
Sorry for that. Yeah, just making this technology available, because digital whiteboards exist, but they cost a lot of money. Yeah. And what we want to do is we want to make these tools available for everyone with the technology that we have in hand. And our speciality is using artificial intelligence, combining that with our expertise in image processing and just making everyone in the room available for collaboration, but also the content that is created when people work in teams, both far end and in the room. So yeah.
All right, so well, let's talk about the brand new product that hasn't even really been officially released. It's a little bit of information out there about it, the S1. The S1 is designed for, you have the L1 for large meeting rooms. The S1's more for smaller and mid-sized meeting rooms. It's a networkable, you can use it USB, but it's really meant to be networkable, which one advantage of that is PoE. So you don't have to have a separate, you don't have to have a separate power cable, but because it's networkable, now you take the advantage of all that. We are a software company, not a hardware company stuff. Exactly. And you're able to do a lot of analytics and a lot of automation.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And we've put more power into that product as well, more processing power to do even more, be able to do even more artificial intelligence and bring new user experiences into the meeting room with that product. It all started with the L1 really, and we saw that in large meeting rooms, you really need the flexibility to be able to mount this camera wherever you need it without having to think about limitations of USB and USB extenders and cabling and all of that, which I'm sure a lot of our viewers have felt the pain from. But then going to IP for connectivity for the large rooms really opened the door for more sophisticated software integrations with the platform providers and with people running sophisticated software on their compute as well. And then we evolved that onto the S1, building on that platform and evolving our portfolio to have these capabilities in all of the rooms, ranging from the small through the mid-size to the large rooms and the boardrooms.
Yeah, when you go to your website, it's actually on your website. If you go to the Huddly website, go to the room cameras, meeting room cameras, you'll see the S1. But there's a new feature, or a feature you haven't really talked about, called Gallery. If you could, are you willing to demonstrate that for us?
So yeah, there's a lot of talk these days about the hybrid situation and the hybrid workspace. And one of the things that people are talking about is equal equity. And one of the things that we're now playing around with our artificial intelligence is for the camera to be able to pick up people in the room and really zoom in on them. Now, I don't have an extra in my room to demonstrate, but this kind of demonstrates all the processing here is happening in my IQ that I'm on. It's also demonstrating how Huddly is a software company. I'm a bit close to my phone. That's why it's switching in and out here sometimes. But the thinking is that,
I mean, yeah, what you're doing is when there's more than one person in a room, it creates a gallery view, just like you did back in the days when we had true meeting equity, when we were all at home working from home and everyone had the same size square. So you're kind of duplicating that kind of uniqueness.
The advantage that we have by being able to do this in the camera is that we're very close to the data source. We can do this without losing resolution of the video, keeping everyone in the meeting in high quality throughout the meeting. And it's also tracking, so it will track you as you move through the meeting room.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you one last question before we go. When will we see Huddly, or will we see Huddly, go ahead and put the compute inside the camera? Like, why do we need to have a separate computer in the room when we have the ability to have Teams and Zoom and Meet on the device itself? Wouldn't that be a good idea?
There's a lot of compute in the Huddly cameras already. So the question is, when does it make sense for
put the app,
the peripherals like the cameras and the microphones or speakers to be their own identity in the cloud space? And that's something that we're having continuously conversations about with the platform providers and with the service providers. Kind of, when does it make sense? But we're getting ready, putting more compute into our devices, and continuously, like now, we're integrating with AI and intelligent software features and evolving that. And at some stage, I'm sure that we'll see a future where you get more distributed media into the future intelligent meeting rooms, which I'm very much looking forward to Huddly playing central part in.
I suspect they will. You will. So if you want to check out Huddly, go to huddly.com. Check out huddly.com. And of course, everyone's heard of you, but they may not know about the other products that are out there because everyone knows you for the IQ. So in any case, I appreciate you joining me today, Vegard. Now you can go home and eat dinner.
Thank you, Gary. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for joining me for this special edition of our Rants and rAVes and this cool little demo of how the S1 is going to work to help with media equity. Have a great day.
With Rants and rAVes.